Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, the Money Max account for real estate investors and inspiring real estate investors. I'm Keish, and I'm thrilled to have you here today. Today's session is going to be incredibly valuable, especially if you're a real estate investor who is aspiring to become one. You'll learn actionable strategies from two seasoned experts, Teresa Eskeef of Your Life Sense and Brian Nates, on how to leverage the Money Max account to optimize your financial game plan. Before we dive in, let's make sure everyone is ready to go. If you can see or hear me clearly, please put a 1 in the chat now. Also, please stay on mute to ensure a smooth experience for everyone. I encourage you to ask lots of questions in the chat throughout the session. If you have a question, chances are someone else is wondering the same thing. We'll also have time at the end during Q&A to address many of your questions as possible. Without further delay, let me introduce our first speaker, Teresa Eskeef. Teresa is the founder of Your Life Sense, where she helps individuals and families achieve financial freedom with personalized strategies. She'll kick us off with some financial insights, and then we'll hear from her partner, Brian Nates, who will walk us through the advanced strategies and actionable steps. Teresa, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Teresa. Nice to meet you all. With Your Life Sense, where we help individuals and families achieve financial freedom through personalized strategies. Today's session is tailored specifically for real estate investors or those aspiring to be real estate investors, as well as people who want to eliminate their debt, start building wealth, and saving for their future. You'll learn how the Money Max account can help you optimize your financial plan and set you up for long-term success. I'd like to remind everyone that this webinar is for educational purposes only. If you have any questions that aren't answered during the session, or if you would like to explore how the program might fit your unique goals, you'll notice that there's a QR code in my Zoom background. Feel free to scan or access my contact information and calendar, where you can book a complimentary, no-charge meeting. I will also put that link in the chat, and as well as send an ebook later on, a free ebook with information on that. So without further delay, let me introduce our presenter, Brian Nates, who will guide us through the valuable session. Brian, it's all yours.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Yeah.
Good to go. All right. So hello, everybody. Again, my name is Brian Nates. I live in the wonderful state of Indiana, outside of Indianapolis. I will tell you what, it is freezing here. I don't know where you all live, but it's in the middle of winter right now. This morning it was -5 degrees. That being said, I love our state. My backyard literally is a cornfield. So I go out there in season and pick some corn, and it's just awesome. But anyway, so I've been in this industry close to 20 years. I do a lot of strategies with clients for real estate planning, retirement planning strategies, tax strategies, etc. Been around for a while, part of many different masterminds where, quite frankly, I've been very blessed. I've been poured into by people that are significantly wealthier than I am. And it's so funny. I don't know if everyone on the call will understand this, but there comes a point where the student becomes the teacher, right? And that is where I am in my career now. And I love it. Thank you for both Kish and Teresa for inviting me to present today. I'm not going to do a standard like PowerPoint or anything like that. I'm going to talk through some things, and then I'm going to do a demo on a system that I use to help clients. I could tell you from experience, personally, this system, which is known as the Money Max account, is a tool that allows me personally to really plan things out, forecast things. I've paid off multiple debts and properties without even feeling it. Even the home that I just bought in January of 2020, I will save close to $250,000 in interest and building equity significantly fast. And I'll have it paid off in a little less than 6 years, which is a blessing. right? It's not always about paying off mortgages and paying off debts, but cash flow matters. Eliminating interest out of your life matters. And so that's what I want to talk about today. There are many strategies out there. Okay. I am absolutely thrilled to go through those a little bit and meet with you one-on-one with Teresa. I'm here to help. Teresa, you know that, right? If you've been investigating things that are available and strategies that are out there, there are things known as the velocity banking methodology. That's using a line of credit of some sort to help you eliminate interest and get out of debt. It's actually quite effective if you do it the right way. I've been teaching clients that since 2008-ish, that more 2007 actually. And so I love it. It works. And I'm happy to talk through that with you. I'm going to use today's demo to kind of talk about that a little bit too. Someone on this call probably understands what I'm talking about. And if you want an expert that understands that can help you, more than willing to, more than happy to help. Okay. There's another strategy that a lot of planners nowadays, a lot of advisors are taking people through, and it's known as becoming your own banker or infinite banking. And that is a unbelievable way to maximize efficiency in people's lives, to become your own banking system so that all the money flowing away from you is no longer doing so. And you become your own personal banking system, helping you eliminate debt, build wealth, build your legacy, become your own bank, even to buy rental properties, etc. And I love that strategy. I've done it for years myself. I'm happy to help and talk through that as well. That's maybe a teaching for another day. Yeah. But I absolutely love it. But what is today about? No matter what strategy you implement into your life, there's a challenge. And what I mean by that is things are always changing. Life happens, things come up. And so how can you be effective in that? You know, Tony Robbins, for those that follow him or listen to him, once said that knowledge is not power. So I can give you all the knowledge. We could talk about different strategies all day long. I'm only doing half my job if we just help you earn that knowledge or learn that knowledge. Where the power really comes from is executing that knowledge. And I'm going to share with you today a tool that I've used for years to help me execute and to help me stay on track. Because if you can execute a plan and adapt your plan to life happening or things coming up or opportunities coming, right? Some of you may even, there's things called like the income snowball methodology. And like, if you can plan things out and do things well, everything can fall into place as long as you have a way to adapt. And that is what I found the Money Max account to do really well for me. I'm not saying you have to use the Money Max account. I'm saying for me and my clients for years, it's been a blessing. And I haven't found a better way of staying on track and hitting goals. So when you understand the velocity of money and the way money really works, I hope everyone would agree that you have to have a solid foundation, right? When you're building real estate, when you're building developments, if you don't build your foundation, everything else can crumble. And what I found is those clients, myself included, using what the system is known as the Money Max account, really helps clients stay on track. So what do I mean by that? And I'm going to share my screen in a minute or two here. What I want you to think about, so I'm 48 years old. When I was growing up, we didn't have, what we used was maps. And what I mean by that is I live in Indiana. Let's say I wanted to visit somebody in New York, right? On the East Coast. Kish and I were talking about Philadelphia just recently, right? So I wanted to go visit Kish. Now, the truth is, if I got in my car today, and I associate this with money and financing and planning. That's why I'm bringing this up. If I got in my car today and I wanted to go visit Kish, well, if I just head east with no map, know anything, I eventually may find Kish in Philadelphia. I mean, just go east. I'll eventually figure it out. Now, that is not very efficient, right? And not very effective at all. But it's possible. And unfortunately, too many people in our lives of financial planning and forecasting and figuring life out and trying to retire and trying to build your income and trying to get rental properties, trying to pay off debt, trying to get the banks out of your life are flying blind and saying, I know how to do this, I'm going to do it. The next step up from that is if we were living in, 1975, we would stop at our local gas station, 7-Eleven, GetGo, Walmart, whatever, and buy a map. And now at least the map, you pull it out, tells you where to go, and you're figuring out where to go. A lot of you are doing something like that. Maybe for those that want to get out of debt and build equity quicker, you may be using some sort of budget tool or an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. But it's a static plan. It's a static way of doing things. It could work, and I applaud you for getting down the right path, but it's not real time. We're in 2025. Most of you probably use the same thing I use when we're driving. This is my iPhone. There's a great app on my iPhone called Waze. Some of you love it. Some of you know it. Some of you use Google Maps or just the plain old GPS that's locked into your car. Isn't it amazing that cars are sold with it now? Why? Because it's technology and it works. And the beauty of Waze for me is, Kish, if I want to come visit you, Kish, what's your address? I'm going to put it into my GPS in my Waze app, and it's going to tell me exactly what to do and when to do it. And if there's a bad accident, I don't even have to think about it. It routes me around it. I mean, let's be brutally honest. If there's a police officer a mile up, I know about it and it helps me not get a ticket. It is guiding me in real time to do the right moves. So if we do that for driving, wouldn't it make sense to have a tool like that for our everyday living and our finances? And that's really what I found can help people stay really effective in their own financial planning and goals. And I partner with other advisors that we help their clients do it. And I fell in love with this tool simply because I was using it myself. So I want you to think through, anyone on this call, if there really was a way that could help you, like eliminate interest, pay off debt as fast as possible, using the very strategies that people teach, infinite banking, velocity banking. Again, if you need help understanding what those are, happy to help. And implementing a step-by-step pathway, just like the Waze app is doing for me in real time. It could be connected to your bank accounts. So when you spend $5, well, let's be honest, at McDonald's now it's probably $15. When you spend $15, even at Starbucks, it's no longer $4, it's $5, right? So like when you spend that money, if you had a system that knew exactly when you spent it and knew how to guide you to use the rules of the accounts that you have the most efficient way possible, so you can eliminate debt, build wealth, plan for your future, understand your net worth 20 years from now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Man, that's pretty powerful. And that's really what I want to show today is show you this tool that's really just helped me. If you want to understand more and see what it could do with you, Teresa and I are happy to help. But really what I wanted to show you is like how I've used it all the time. And so I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And I'm going to lock this in with everybody. This is it. Teresa, give me a thumbs up. You can see my screen. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Okay. So let's break this down. Why do I love this so much? This is a demo of the system that I use. The Money Max account is designed to be like that Waze app or that GPS for your finances. And it literally shows you exactly what path you're on and the results that you're going to get. So when I'm using this, and I love it, and this is a sample client, I'm going to go through the sample client, But first thing I want to show you is like, this is my dashboard, just like Waze, right? You see where you're going, you know where your destination is, you know how many minutes you have left, you know how many miles you have left, right? So I want you, whoever's listening on this call, to envision if you had a tool like this that could let you know exactly when you would be completely debt-free, like the day, the year, and as you were making money, spending money, planning future steps in your life, you knew how it affected that. It's pretty powerful, actually. Okay. Payoff years, 12.9, not 30. Okay. 12.9. And the interest saved by the strategic steps. See, what this system does is it looks at every account you have, your checking account, your savings account. If you have a line of credit, because some people utilize that velocity banking methodology, life insurance contract with cash value being built up. That's that infinite banking type strategy. Then you have credit cards. Some are at 20%, some are at 0%, some are at 0% for 12 months, some are at 0% for 18 months, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Personal loans, student loans, whatever. It looks at every account you have and says, this is the most efficient pathway to take to eliminate interest, get out of debt, build your goals, let it know what you're trying to accomplish. And all it does is, just like Waze tells you, hey, turn left, you turn left. Turn right, you turn right. You know what, Waze? I don't want to take the city route. I want to go the scenic route over the bridges and through the woods, right? And it says, sure. And it shows you exactly what you need to do and how it's going to affect your destination time. That is what we built with the Money Max account. And I love it. I love what it does for the end user. So here we go. This is the client. Right here is called, I clicked on it here. This is called the action plan. And all this action plan really is that Waze app step by step pathway. And you're going to see every step to take along the way. And as it's happening, it's going to understand that, like Waze has that, you have the map view, but then you have the list view. And if you could think of the list view, when something happens, the next step goes to the top, right? So just to kind of give you an idea, this is Rebecca. It says from Rebecca's to checking. That's her paycheck, okay? So I'll go into that in a minute so you understand that. But this is really powerful for me to utilize with me and my clients all the time. I want you to understand this client. So I'm going to click on the accounts tab. Because, hey, Brian, 12.9 years. Okay, that's fine. But what does that really mean? This is the client's accounts. So they have a cash value life insurance policy. For those that don't know what that is, again, we can talk through that. But it has 38,000 in there. That's the cash value being built up, almost like a savings vehicle for them, okay, to become their own system. They have a checking account. They also have a rental property. So they have a rental business checking, okay? And then they have a savings account, right? That has a little bit of interest on it. That's great, okay? These are the different balances. And I want to show you something, which is pretty neat. I can really make sure that I'm not just running out of money or using money foolishly. I'm going to hit edit. And why this is important to me, again, Tony Robbins says the power is execution, not just knowledge. When I click on advance, I can tell this system if I wanted to, hey, ignore this account. Okay, so I can even say the minimum balance is $5,000, which means it will never direct me to take this money from this account that's, unless it's over $5,000. Because remember, what it's doing is what is the most efficient thing to do for you? Well, if I set some parameters, it will never utilize money that I want to make sure I have and that I'm safe and that I'm utilizing for other things. Okay, so that's pretty powerful. So let's go back to the accounts tab. They have that. This client also has a car loan, a Discover card, right? A MasterCard, has some balances on there, $6,000, $5,000, has a little signature loan. But then they have a mortgage, $300,000, 6%. They have a second mortgage because that's a rental property, right? $278. They also have a HELOC. They didn't use it yet. There's a zero balance, but it's there. Okay. So this is like an average person nowadays, okay? And they have a rental property too. And then watch this. In the budget tab, pretty cool. This is their, this is their budget. Okay, it's John and Rebecca Jones. By the way, I call them John and Rebecca Jones. Hope you understand my humor. Everybody likes to keep up with the Joneses, so that's why I call them that. Okay, so John makes 2,300 take home every 2 weeks. Okay, Rebecca gets paid twice a month, 1,300 bucks. But they also have a rental income property, and this system, why I love the way it categorizes things and allows me to let the Waze app for my finances take me and guide me and show me the best thing to do at all times. It literally can be programmed. So like when I look at the rental income, see what it says advanced details. It knows that 2,500 is going into the rental business checking account. It already knows that, right? That's powerful. So that you're not cross-contaminating money or using money that you need for something else. It understands the flow. There are 41 million lines of code in the algorithm that was designed for this system. We actually spent $20 million to create it. It's very powerful. It's not just some fancy budget thing, okay? It's an actual action plan, which is powerful. And then lastly, it also knows like that rental property. When I go to edit it, and I click on advanced, it actually knows that it's actually getting paid from that rental business checking as well. Okay, so the income's going into it from rentals, as well as the mortgage itself for it is getting paid. Pretty cool so far. All right, now watch this. This client is going to be debt-free in 12.9 years. And that, again, just to show you, so everyone's on the same page there, that is the car loans, the Discover cards, the MasterCards, 2 mortgages, pretty powerful. And the system has a whole budget tab built out for them that shows on the budget, like, hey, they spend around $500 a month, right? Notice it says average expense because averages are always changing. You know how the Waze app is active in real time, always recalculating in real time? As things are happening, making money, spending money, even planning future steps. I want you to think about Waze. When you want to plan a restaurant that's on your destination, but it's part of the trip, you can say, well, if I go to this restaurant over here, it's going to add 2 hours. If we do this restaurant over here, it's going to add 20 minutes. Which one are you picking? Probably the one that's 20 minutes, not 2 hours difference, right? You get to see that and understand that before you choose to do it. And that's one of the real values of why I like utilizing the Money Max account in our life. Okay. And so this is the budget tab again. You got bills and utilities, and then everything else. I want to be clear on this for people. Some people love itemizing. Some people hate it. I just want something that can help me based on what I want to do, my personality and your personality. Some of my clients itemize every little thing in here, and some of them just have a big bucket that says, it says everything else, right? Just like all my expenses, right? And that's okay. This budget tab is what's feeding the action plans, forecasting, and planning out. And then in real time, it actually recalculates based on what really happened. And what this is I told you guys I would come back to this. This is the action plan. If you became a client of our system, please know, like, we're not just going to throw you to the wolves either. When people become clients, like, they get coaching, they get set up, they get service, okay? All that's part of it. But watch this. This is the action plan. And this goes on, just goes on and on and on, because these are the future steps, just like Waze has the future steps built in that you can see it and understand what you're going to have to be doing. So these are certain specific, I'll say, action moves, chess moves with your cash flow. And as long as you're following these moves, it's going to eliminate as much interest as possible, pay off debt, hit your goals that you want to hit, and eliminate the banks out of your life if that's what you choose to do. Like, this client is going to save $421,000 in interest, but it recalculates in real time. Here's a great example. This client is a baby investor, so they have 2 rental properties. Let's say they know, well, you know what? Next year I'm gonna have to get a new roof. That happens, right? And it's gonna be, $15,000. Okay, so they can actually plan for it. And before I put that in, I want you to see here, like, see this checking to savings and then savings to discover. These are actual moves, and as it happens, you're gonna execute that it happens. It's pretty powerful. Okay, so let's show you. Like Rebecca to checking. I'm gonna hit 1340, and that was her paycheck. So she just says, "Yep, I did it. Easy, right?" And I'm gonna show you. You notice it's not there. And John, the next day, he got paid. So he says, "Yep, that happened." And then tell you what, I got a little bonus. So now it was 2562, right? And I'm gonna close that out and execute. In real time, it's understanding. What I'm not showing you is, like, you can even connect your accounts. And so it happens automatically because it understands that, hey, you just got paid, and you would still have to reconcile, but it understands the flow of money that's happening in and out of all the different accounts that are connected. Pretty powerful. Okay. So again, this client says, you know what? We need a new roof next year. We can make it last another year maybe, but next summer, we're going to have to get a new roof. So I'm going to hit add new action plan right here. Add new action. I'm going to say withdrawal. And this is one of the best things. I'm going to say it's on the MasterCard because I don't know. They may have done some sort of payment plan or something with the roofing company, but I'm just going to say new roof. Not now, next summer. So 2026. And we're planning ahead. See, that as an advisor that works with clients, I love this feature. Okay. It allows you to see. I want you to hear me. Imagine if you could see the cause and the effect of your future steps and how they're going to affect your overall financial planning and your overall financial goal before you even had to make the decision whether you were going to do it or not. And you can understand how it affects you before you had to make that decision. That's very, very powerful. And most people fail at the execution of what they want to do in their life. Okay, this is the best tool I've ever found that does that. So watch this. I'm going to hit select category and just say it's for investments, whatever. New roof, it's for my house. So $15,000, okay, next summer. And I'm just going to hit save. So now the program understands that that is an expense. By the way, that could be a trip to Greece, right? That could be like whatever, okay? But you're planning this step in your action before you even have to do it so you can understand how it's going to affect you. And I don't know if you noticed, though, it says years to pay off is now 13.3. What was it before? 12.8, 12.9, something like that, okay? So it added some time. That was good to see and understand, okay? And when I click this button right here, the true cost button, and I scroll all the way down, this could be your best friend, or it could be a really hard thing to look at. And the MasterCard for the new roof for 15 grand, the true cost is actually $32,633.70. That is astonishing to understand in real time, and make sure you're using the right card, make sure you're using the right avenue, make sure do you really need that new roof yet, etc. And again, that could be also a trip to Greece or buying a new car, whatever. For those that are in rental properties, maybe you need a new truck for the business. You can put in your accounts a new truck and what the payment's going to be and see how it's going to affect your overall planning, okay? For me, I don't necessarily have to be completely debt-free. But if I can build equity, and this is what a lot of our real estate investors utilize the system for, if you can build equity much faster and utilize that equity to get another rental, to help your income, to help your cash flow, and to build more wealth, and then do that again and again and again. Guys, one of my clients has 105 mortgages and is utilizing this program because it's the planning and the forecasting that it sets it apart from everything else he's doing. And he loves it. His accountant loves it. His COO loves it. He's a CEO of an investment firm, a real estate investment firm. Loves it. Okay. So that's one example. Okay. And I'm gonna delete this real quick because at a click of a button, you can say, never mind, I don't want to put that in there yet. And it's gonna go right back to 12.8 years. Okay. I do want to show, because I know a lot of people may think of through things like, well, what if I want to buy another property? Or before I even do that, watch this. I'm going to hit accounts. And I'm going to add a new account. And it's going to be a 0% credit card. Okay. And the reason why is we all get those promo cards, right? And should I consolidate some debt on it? What should I do? Right? Which debt should I pay off with it? How does that work, etc. So right now is a zero balance, and let's just say it's a good one. So it's $20,000. You know, they make pretty good money. Okay, the current rate is 0, and right away the system said, "Well, wait a second, it's 0. Does that mean that's an introductory rate?" Yes, it is. And the new rate's going to be 23.99. It adjusts in 18 months. So let's say January, February, March, April, May, June. So June of 2026. And it understands that. That's really powerful, right? And so we're going to, $25 is the minimum payment. And we're going to say that we just got this card. So in February, February 5th is the next payment due. Okay. We haven't done anything with it though yet. There's a zero balance. Execution is where, when you can execute the knowledge, is where it all comes together. And why I love that. So now there's a 0% card in there. And if I go to settings and we just go to the consolidation wizard, is what it's called. At a click of a button, why is Waze so great for us? Because it, in real time, shows you everything to ensure a transfer. We require the action plan is updated. Oh, I'm in the demo. Oh, I wanted to show you that. I'm in the demo, so I can't do it. I have to be up to date, which means executed everything between November and January, which I'm not going to do that right now. Okay. But what it would do, and maybe I'll show that another time. What it would do is say, okay, you have like all this other debt, right? You have a car loan, Discover card, MasterCard, right? And it's going to say, consolidate these cards into this card, and you're going to save $500 a month, and you're going to save, $22,000 in interest, or whatever that number is, right? And at a click of a button, just like on Waze, when you say, well, I'm going this way, what if I took the scenic route? Or what if I added a stop? And you can see how it's going to affect everything else before you decide to do it. That is a pure, amazing play on executing something and knowing the cause and effect of it before you had to do it. So sorry I couldn't show that to you, but it's because I haven't executed everything in the demo up to today's date. So it can't analyze it effectively. Okay. So that being said, I think this next thing, and then I will really talk through any questions that people have. But a lot of people want to build a rental empire. A lot of people may just want to get another rental property, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. If you strategize the right way and plan the steps before you do them, that is so effective, right? It's almost like saying playing to win the game. If you knew what the steps were to win the game before you actually had to play the game, and you could set up the game to win and play the game to win, that's a good thing. You never want to set up the game to lose. So with the Money Max account as your guide, you can always be right. And what I mean by that is there's no emotion. It's just math. And it's looking at every account you have and making sure every single penny is the most efficient it possibly can be. And that's what I want for you. I want you to win the game before you even started playing it. Right? So let's do that. I'm going to add a new account. And John and Rebecca Jones, they have the one property, and then they have that one rental property, and they're going to have both paid off in 12, 13 years. That's cool. But they're thinking about buying another property. So I'm going to say second rental property. Right? Who cares what bank it's with? And let's just make this easy. $300,000 is going to be the mortgage. And they're thinking about doing it next summer. So hopefully it's 7%. They're forecasting there a little bit. Okay. You don't know what the rates are going to be in a year, year and a half. So let's just look at that. It's saying, well, if you do that, your amortized payment tells you right away is $1995.91, but they're going to have some escrow because they got taxes and insurance. So now the total payment is $2395.91. They're not buying it now, but they're going to be able to see the future before the future even happens. So their first mortgage payment, if they buy it in next summer like they're planning, probably around August 1st, right? So August 1st, 2026, which means their first statement will be in July is when they'll get the statement because they bought it in, end of May, beginning of June. So July 15th. That's fair. Okay. Now watch this. What does it say? Oh, make a valid statement date. I'll just do it a little later. It's fine. We should be good there. Okay. So watch this. John and Rebecca Jones just went from 12 years to 31 years. Ouch. Right? That's not fun. But if you're John and Rebecca Jones and you're using this as a planning tool, it says, well, wait a second. We haven't included the rental budget, the rental income. Now, for some of you, like, yeah, but Ryan, what about taxes? What about this? Of course. What about expenses, the repairs? I know that. And you can plan all that in too. I'm not going to take a 2-hour demo here to show that to you, though, right? I just wanted you to get the understanding of what we use this for our clients, right? So I'm going to add on a $300,000 mortgage. Maybe the house itself was 400. Let's just be conservative and say that they're going to add another. Let's just add a second one. Rental prop to income, and it's monthly. They're not getting it now. You're planning the future. So 2026 is going to start. And maybe they don't find a renter till September, right? So they're going to plan for September 1, right? And let's be conservative. I'll say $3,000 a month. It's probably going to be more than that on a house that size nowadays. But I'll be super conservative and say, and you could even click rental income on here so you can print out reports for your CPA, etc. And so now that's part of their overall planning, right? And watch this. Boom. The system knows that if you're going to do this, you're going to have all 3 mortgages paid off in 14 years. All 3 of them. Now, some of you may say, I don't want to pay it all off. Yeah, but if you can build that equity quicker, which is what you're going to be doing, now you can use that equity to buy another property and buy another property and plan it all out. And this will be the last thing that I show, and then I'm done. Because I think this is really effective for people to understand how to better their life. I'm going to add one more account, and it's going to be another mortgage. Okay. And I'll just call this the third rental property. Care who it's with. And it's the same type of property to keep it easy. 7%. Actually, let's say it's more than, let's say it's 400,000. And the reason I say that is because they're buying it in a couple of years. They're planning their steps, just like one plans their steps. 3161, 3161.20. Okay, perfect. And it's not in 2026. Let's say a couple of years later, they're planning their next purchase. So they can start building their empire and do it in a systematic way. And again, we'll just keep it easy. August 1st, which means they bought it in June sometime. And that means in July is the statement. Oops, 2026. Okay. Boom. What did I do now? Please enter a valid 728. I thought I did. Oh, that says 28. That says 26. Sorry. July 2028. Okay. Here's why I brought this up. It went right back up to 30. And you're going to say, well, wait a second. He didn't put in the income yet. And I'm going to say, you're right. Let's plan that out the right way. Now, sometimes when I put this stuff in for clients, I'll mental income 3. and it was 3,000. It was a much larger house, so I'll just go to 4,000. Again, we won't know exactly until 2028, but that's okay. September. Really, really neat. Right? And I think that is effective for people to see it. Now you got what, 4 properties paid off in 15 years, saving over $1 million in interest. Okay. That's really powerful. And I'm just going to do something really extreme because there's one thing I do want to show you. Let's just pretend. No, actually, I'll do it this way. Let's pretend that John, no, I'll do it this way. It'll be easier for you guys to understand it. Add new account, mortgage. Just doing this for fun. Super mortgage. Huge bank. $66.53. So let's just say 600. That's 72.53. And I'm doing this on purpose. So let's just pretend that's happening in 2027. Because I want you to see this, which is pretty powerful. So when I do 12/31, 1/1/2027, we should be good.
Yeah, 2026 there, not 2027.
Yeah. Thank you. I got it fixed. Okay. Here's why I wanted to show that. If they did something in their planning, in their future, and it just didn't make sense for what they were trying to accomplish. Now, I haven't included the rental income for that huge, I put $1 million mortgage, okay? And if you notice this up here changed to red. And it says, it doesn't say time to pay off any longer. It actually says on January 2nd, 2031, you're going to run out of money in 5.9 years. That's the day you will not have any more money. Your expenses are exceeding your available funds, meaning no room on your credit card, no room in your savings account, no room on that $100,000 HELOC that has a zero balance. Like all available resources, if you don't find a renter on that $1 million property, you're going to run out of money. Okay. So let's just say, just to keep this real, how much is that mortgage? The super mortgage is $72.53. Let's say you found a renter. They found a renter. Hold on, let me look at that. Super mortgage starts on 1/1/2027. So they found a renter the next month to just barely cover the mortgage. And I think that's super powerful to understand, like if you're making the right move, super renter. Okay. And if you really grasp that, and it was what, $7,300 basically, and it was starting in 2027, right? And we'll even say the first month you don't have someone. Okay. And that is really, really neat to see, to plan, to forecast. And there's other things. And now that's so neat, right? 5 properties with just barely paying that super mortgage, the rent's covering the mortgage, and you're still saving $1.4 million in interest. All 5 properties paid off in 19 years. And the biggest powerful thing for me is the way you can forecast and plan. And I can do so many examples. I mean, there's reports for net worth in here, and cash flow reports. And I just love it. I don't want to ramble on. And of course, like schedule some time with us if you want to understand more and see how it would help you and all that kind of stuff. But this has changed everything, not just for me personally, but for all the clients that I've used. So I have 2 sets of clients, and this is a true story. I have my clients that I implement strategies with, and we talk through it, and they try to do it on their own. And then I have my clients that are all in utilizing the Money Max account, guiding them, helping them, forecasting, planning. And my Money Max account clients are so much more in tune to what their future holds, and so more, they stay on track. And the reason I say that is life happens. Things come up. Why do we use Waze? And if we're honest with ourselves, guys, we use Waze even when we know where we're going. And you know I'm right. Because we know that technology, if there's a bad accident, if there's a bridge out, if they shut down the road, whatever, it's going to help us stay on track and get to where we're going. And the last thing I'll say on that, the psychology of people, of human beings, we also use Waze because it says we're going to get there in 19 minutes. And every one of us says, I can beat that. I'm going to try to beat that. And when you have something that's showing you in real time, when you're spending money, making money, planning, forecasting, buying new properties, trying to pay off debt, trying to put the kids in college, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like those are examples I didn't even use, but in my budget, I can say like, hey, you know what? I have an expense coming up and it's going to be like, $3,000 a month. My son is going to university. It's starting next year, right? I'll say next September. This is actually a true story. My oldest is a senior, right? So like, I know I'm going to have to do that, but here's what's neat. I also know it's only going to last 4 years. And now I can tangibly understand that and effectively grasp what that even means, right? I'll just say it ends December 31st, right? And I'll just call that college Brandon. That's my son's name. And when I can see that and feel that and grasp what that even means, there's one for family somewhere right here. There we go. Right. And it's even tuition. Okay. Not going to itemize it now, but now that's part of the actual goal. And it's part of my planning, and I can see how it affects everything else. There's just so much value in that. Now I added some time to pay off debt, didn't I? But so what? I understood that before I even had to do it. And we're talking a year in advance. That's powerful. So I implore you to learn more, understand more. I love this system. I love what it does, and we're here to help. So I don't know, Kish, if you want to ask any questions or have anyone else ask questions in chat or something, but.
No, this is fantastic. Thank you very much. Some people did text me with some questions. We'll get to that. I think there's one or two questions in the chat right now. Let me check. I asked them a question. How do the values go into the Money Max tool? But I think you said you can connect accounts to it.
Yes.
So does it connect all accounts, or is there any limitations that you're aware of?
So we use the same type of technology system that banks use, a Plaid, type of thing. So most banks connect with it. Most credit cards connect with it. They're not accessing your account. So a lot of people don't realize that with technology. What they're accessing is the activity of that account, right? So as you're utilizing your debit card, credit card, bank accounts, etc., the activity is connected. It's an account connect type thing. Most banks and credit unions will work with it. I had clients where they had some small little tiny credit union, and one of them was in Iowa, and that's the truth. It was like there's like two of them in the whole state of Iowa. They weren't part of the system, and it is what it is at that point, right? They're a small little bank or credit union, but most will connect, and it's a instantaneous type thing. You go to the store, you whatever. If you're moving money online, it understands, and it's all part of the action plan at that point.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Now, you did mention infinite banking, life insurance. Now, do those accounts, can they be connected, or are they manual as well? Are they part of this thread? This Plaid?
Yeah, no, they're manual,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Now, who knows what the future holds as technology gets better in the world and more people are utilizing if the infinite banking methodology is becoming more and more popular, more people are getting educated on it and understanding it. So who knows? I mean, there could be life insurance contracts that do Bitcoin, right? Who knows, right? So, and actually there is one. But that being said, as technology happens, whatever can be connected will be. But I don't see that happening anytime soon with life insurance. So for now, like I have my life insurance policies in my account, and it's a manual thing.
Sure.
I put it in. Yeah.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Here's another question by Mid2. What's the cost of signing up for this account?
Great question. So the Money Max account system itself, there's different levels. Really good question, by the way. And it's based on how much total debt a client would have. And I can give you some examples there. And how, like if you were to meet with Teresa and I, we would actually run a full analysis for you specifically. And it's based on, it's almost like, when you're getting a mortgage for a new property, well, is it a $100,000 mortgage or is it a $2 million mortgage? The closing costs are different, right? With the Money Max account system itself, it's based on total debt amount, how much time that it projects that the savings are going to be for your initial activation, and the interest saved, because they guarantee the results of the program for clients. Most clients will pay for there's a lifetime type membership thing, or you could pay for it monthly. Either way is fine. It's around 1% to 4% of the total interest saved, and it's a broad range there. If you have less than $80,000 of total debt, that's the lowest, meaning no mortgage, credit cards, student loans, etc. That's going to be the Money Max account Gold. And that's going to be somewhere between $30 and $80 a month if you do the payment plan. Otherwise, it's going to be somewhere between $1,000, $2,000, like all in. Okay. Those that have 1 to 3 mortgages will be what's known as the Money Max account Platinum. And that's, if you do the payment plan, it's going to be somewhere between $50 and $150 a month. And then there's the Money Max, there's different levels. There's Money Max account 10, there's Money Max account 25, which is like 25 mortgages. Okay. But if you're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest guaranteed, and it costs you $2, $3, $4 grand, I think there's a huge value there. The system itself is not all you get. You get coaching sessions, unlimited upgrades, a client for life. They do upgrade the system with new features and benefits. It's not like Apple where a new iPhone came out and I got to buy another one, right? As the system gets better and better, it's web-based. So yes, it does cost, again, somewhere between 1% and 4% of the interest saved. And we know that exactly once we run your analysis. But it's, most clients spend between $2 and $4 grand total.
Is there a trial period for it?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any trial,
Yeah, we have 100,000 clients,
okay.
Close to 100,000, and over 2.7 billion in debt has been paid off. So we kind of, like, we used to do trial when we needed to, and we don't mean that arrogantly, but we know the system works and what it's capable of doing.
Yep.
So we don't do that anymore. All
right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Somebody texted me privately, is there a mobile version?
Yes. So there's a mobile version, and we're also getting a new upgrade where there's an actual app, like it's mobile friendly that you can log in. It's web-based SaaS, but an app is being developed. I was one of the beta testers. There were some bugs, but it's coming soon. I don't know the exact date, but soon there will be an actual app to download as well.
Okay, perfect.
So Alexander Denisov in the chat, do you mind if I read it, or you want to read it?
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay. He says, I guess this assumes that all available income goes into debt repayment. So any income slated for investments would have to be categorized as a budgeted expense. Is there functionality to compare what would be more beneficial in the longer run, investing versus debt payment? The answer to all of that, Alexander, is yes, yes, and yes. There's defaults built into it that, remember, I don't know if you remember in the beginning, I showed like the accounts, and minimum balances, and you can even tell the system to ignore this account. Okay. And you can categorize it as an expense if you wanted to, or you can let the system know that this money is flowing into this investment and to ignore it completely, right? Like you can absolutely, it's extremely valuable, and the algorithm is pretty awesome. It knows the flow, and you could tell the system, hey, this is my investments over here. The money is coming from this over here into that account, and ignore it, right? Or you could say, I don't want to ignore it completely. Maybe once there's 100 grand in there, I want to start using it. Like it understands it's only math, and it's probably the best beneficial math that I've ever seen, right? So
Yeah, and it moves based on your movements. I mean, you tell it what to do. So, and then it tells you what to do based on what your input is.
yeah. The Ken has, how does this play with the flip method? Is it an either or? No, it's an and we can certainly meet in privately and talk through that more specifically to your situation. I don't believe in either ors. Matter of fact, one of my good friends wrote a book called The And Asset, Caleb Gwillams. I do not believe in either ors at all. It should never be an either or conversation. It should always be an and. And so you can eliminate debt, eliminate interest, build equity, and build wealth, and make investments. And you can absolutely do it, especially if you have a system that maximizes the efficiency of every single step that you want to take, and you just let it know what your parameters are, and it's going to be most efficient for you. I hope that makes sense, Ken.
Can I say something, Brian?
Please do. Please do.
When it comes to the flip method or income stacking, which some people know,
Yeah.
I utilize it in that aspect. I put in my income from my investments as my recurring deposits. Brian showed in there where there was a time frame you could put in for your flips. So you can put in your income is coming in for 3 years, and it ends on year 3 on that date. And track your expense out to invest, and it all works very well together.
And I will encourage you, Teresa, why don't you put the link in the chat too, to if you want to see specifics for anyone like your situation or ask more detailed questions than the time allows today, Kish, I would imagine people would want to. We are happy to meet. I know Teresa has that little QR code, so go ahead and scan it if you can, or she put the link in the chat right now.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate that all of our introductory meetings are complimentary, and we have a free ebook we can give out, and we take pride in getting our clients educated before they decide to purchase.
Yeah. And
so that is a process that we go through.
I'll tell you what, that ebook we have, if anything, get the ebook. It's a good read. I enjoyed it when I first read it. It's a good read.
How do we get the ebook?
If you click on the link, whether the QR code or the link in the chat, okay. That when you request info, one of the things you're going to get is the download for the ebook.
Perfect. Do you guys have a YouTube channel where we can learn more or see demos or anything like that?
Yeah, we do. We could send that out too, Teresa. I have a YouTube channel. I mean, mine's under Brian Nates, but Teresa, I think you have one too, right? So.
Excellent. We are at time. Is there any last minute questions? I don't see any more questions in chat. Does anybody want to unmute and ask anything at this time? The floor is yours. Seems to be a little quiet, so you guys must have did a fantastic job.
Either we did really good or really bad. You don't know when it's quiet.
But no, this was an excellent presentation. Thank you very much for sharing. I will absolutely share the recording later tonight or first thing in the morning. We'll send a copy for you guys as well. I'll include all the links that was provided in the YouTube description. So anybody wants to reach out to Teresa or Brian, or just download download the ebook, feel free to do so, by clicking the link that Teresa provided. And if there's nothing else, everyone, thank you very much for joining today. Teresa, Brian, thank you very much for sharing your wealth of knowledge and teaching
Thank
us
you,
a little bit. And have a good rest of your afternoon, everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
We look forward to
everyone.
it. If anyone can't see it, it's pretty simple. Teresa, that's with THERESA, Teresa.mymoneymaxaccount.com. Teresa.mymoneymaxaccount.com.
Excellent.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, guys.
Bye now. Yep.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.